Hola! Your dream vacation to Dubai starts from rupees 29,999 only with GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Raj and Shraddha have worked so hard in their lives.
Yeah.
They're getting some kind of due. That's well deserved, right?
Stree and of course Shraddha Kapoor was out there promoting it. A certain section on the internet had an issue that, why is it being promoted only on her name?
Shraddha equally loves us and we love her. And I think we all are a team, yeah. And we all work like a family. So it doesn't matter what the chatter is. It doesn't matter how people are trying to, find some kind of controversy. In a scene, Rajkummar Rao, I asked him in Stree 1 कि तू cues क्यों देता है? क्योंकि मैंने कभी सुना नहीं था कि people give cues. Vicky Kaushal, the star, the Toba guy had once come and given an audition for a broker. 3 सीन का रोल था उसका घन चक्कर में. Rajkummar Rao also auditioned for me many years back in a film called Knockout. I will never forget that. Normal shirt पैंट पहन के एक बड़ा सीधा सा लड़का आया, वॉकी टॉकी पकड़ के उसने कुछ किया ना. I'm like, अरे ये क्या एक्टिंग कर रहा है यार? We have auditioned so many star kids. Of course they'll get the opportunities because their parents have worked hard and stuff like that. But they also have to come and prove themselves on screen. It's not easy for them. There are plenty of people who are ready to work with you without any favors. Many actors used to try and bribe me. They used to tell that आपके लिए गाड़ी खरीद देते हैं. That definitely means that I've reached somewhere that I'm important to be made a headline with Karan Johar sir. And also I also realized that if you take the name Karan, it's going to be a headline. Recently Arshad sir spoke about Prabhas and that was also misrepresented suddenly. He was not talking about Prabhas being Joker. Something I wanted to do recently for an OTT show, and I was told by the director that they want somebody with more followers.
It was the year 2018 when I watched Stree, and throughout in my mind, I was like, who is this guy and how is he so good? And that's exactly the thought that still comes to my head each time I watch him on screen. Welcoming Abhishek Banerjee only on Galatta, India. Hi Abhishek, how have you been?
I have been great. How are you?
I am good as well. As I mentioned in my intro, each time I watch you on screen, I'm like, how is he so good? Like, you have played so many different characters now. Now that I've looked back, I feel, oh my God, you need incredible talent to do this. But you tell me, Stree 2 released, it has been such a huge hit. How are you dealing with all the compliments, all the messages coming in?
I'm soaking it in, that it's very rare that you find this kind of love and appreciation from around, from media, from the industry, from the audience. When it's a 360-degree compliment, so I think it's a moment to cherish, and these are the moments where I think we thrive for, artists live for, that we can be a part of such a festive situation in theaters. After a long time, I hear that people are enjoying, they're clapping, they're laughing, they're whistling, they're dancing. These are the stories of the legends. You hear such stories about, there was a time when theaters used to be like this, and people used to flock to the theaters and stand in queues and celebrate, and that's happening with my film. What more can you ask for?
I'm sure. But what about the third part? Because already excitement aa chuki hai ki Stree 3 aani hi chahiye.
Right.
Even people, when they didn't know that it might come out, they were like, no, we need it and we want it.
Right. I mean, I'm very excited myself. I don't know how much of the film is ready and how soon can we go in pre-production. But I know one thing for sure, that Amar Kaushik and Niren Bhai, they're perfectionist. And they will not go on floors till the time they are very much convinced about what they're going to present to the audience. Because now we have a bigger stress. It's become like it's become like a janta film.
Yeah.
It's become a film which has been loved by across ages. I'm hearing stories where people are not able to find tickets in Thailand and in Bangkok and in America, which is very rare for a Hindi film to achieve that kind of feat, that houseful shows across the world. So I think the pressure is double now, and we need some time to calm ourselves down, and we need to tell ourselves that we don't need to do something special. We just need to stick to the roots, stick to the basics, and do exactly what we have been doing.
That's true. I don't know how much of social media you see, but ever since the first initial teaser and then the trailer came out, and it was being promoted as Stree, and of course Shraddha Kapoor was out there promoting it. a certain section on the internet had an issue that, why is it being promoted only on her name, which I couldn't understand because the name of the movie is Three. And, when we watched the first part, even though every actor was incredibly into the movie and screen space was equally given to everyone, even then it was promoted that way. Today, as her co-star, when you see people sort of throwing shade at her that why is it being promoted that way, how do you react?
It's just like I think these are just noise. I mean, when something big happens, there's always some kind of noise, and that's what this is. I mean, and that doesn't take away from the fact that we all have given our heart and soul to this film, and Shraddha equally loves us, and we love her. And I think we all are a team, and we all work like a family. So it doesn't matter what the chatter is. It doesn't matter how people are trying to find some kind of controversy or issue. That's what the norm of the social media is, that you're never happy. You cannot keep so many people happy. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to keep them happy. Let them say what they want to say. But eventually there's so much love coming our way. I think we are very happy. Each and every cast member is very happy with their whatever, whatever we have got from the film.
Abhishek, when you work in, you've worked in several.
And also, I'd like to add that Raj and Shraddha have worked so hard in their lives.
Yeah.
They have worked really hard. So if they're getting some kind of due, that's well deserved, right?
Of course.
And did we ever imagine that we will be called a multi-starrer film? So because actors like us are always used as ensemble cast हैं, ये है, कोई ये नहीं बोल रहा, कोई ये नहीं बोल रहा कि यार ये character actor हैं, कोई नहीं बोल रहा. Suddenly everybody is like equal stakeholders in the film. So we have also been promoted from just a character actor to a multi-starrer cast. So in the same way, they deserve whatever they're getting.
That's so true. I also feel when something becomes successful or something becomes big, I don't know why there's this certain section that sort of picks up onto something that's not even negative. I feel if the film's name is Three, and if one poster has released with only Shraddha, I don't think that should be an issue.
Not a big deal at all. I don't know why people want to make it a big deal. वो कहता है ना बुआ मासी फूट डलवाने की कोशिश करते हैं, वो वाली situation.
But
वो शादी में हर कोई खुश नहीं रहता.
Yeah, that one Fufa ji is always upset.
This is the grand wedding. Everything is nice, but one person is going to say चटनी थोड़ी ठंडी थी. अब चटनी ठंडी होती है.
Abhishek, I've often heard actors say that this is a sort of an insecure industry, especially when you work in a film where there is a supposed star and you are co-starring with that person. How much the other actor lets you shine, because as a performer, you are incredibly talented.
I have not faced such issues because I think I'm lucky to be working in the industry in a time where everybody is working in a very co-working space. We are co-actors. Nobody is a superstar or star or actor or character actor or this or that on a film set. I am more used to that. I'm more accustomed to that right now. I've worked with Mr. Bachchan and I didn't see it in him.
Wow.
And there's no other star, I think, who's bigger than Mr. Bachchan. So if I have been, if I've worked with him and I saw that he would come and give me cues, he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. He'll stand behind the camera and he'll give me cues. If I've seen that, I'm very, very secure that I'm going to receive the same thing from everybody around. And I'll make sure that happens, because even I would do that to my, junior actors, or people who have started something, those actors who have started off. And I think it's very important because in a scene, Rajkummar Rao, I asked him in Stree 1 कि तू cues क्यों देता है? क्योंकि मैंने कभी सुना नहीं था कि people give cues. I saw Raj doing that. And I asked him that, why do you do that? तू धूप में खड़ा होकर you're giving us cues. He's like, bro, it's not only your scene. It's my scene too. And I know that the camera is on you, but if I am not giving you the cues, you will not be reacting the way you should be reacting. Exactly. And then the film scene will drop. Why should I do harm to my own scene? So if somebody tries to be insecure or competitive on set, they're doing harm to their own film.
I think that's how stars are born, because I remember Vicky Kaushal telling this, that he had a part in Donkey, and Shah Rukh sir was not present on that particular day when Vicky was shooting. So he called him, even though the shot was perfect and Raju sir was like, no, we're done. He called Vicky and told him that मैं कल फिर आऊँगा. और मैं तुझे क्यों दूंगा और फिर तू फिर से एक बार कर, we'll do it again and we'll see. But that didn't happen because of course it was perfect. But I think just now when you told that story just came to my mind. But does it ever get difficult to sort of maintain that calmness, maintain that security in yourself?
No, I'm very secure.
Lovely.
I'm very secure. I trust my training. I trust my intelligence.
Yeah.
I trust my evolution. I think I evolve with each phase of my life. I learn a lot. I read a lot. I watch a lot of documentaries. So I'm very, very confident about my process. And so I don't feel insecure at all. No. I know it's a very competitive industry and
Yeah.
people are always worried about themselves. But I had nothing when I came to Bombay. I had nothing. I had some 30, 40 grand in my account. And from there, I became a casting director. From there, I opened a casting company, Casting Bay, where we are doing this. I have employees sitting who are like, my brothers, my sisters, who are working day in and out for our company. I have seen a lot, being behind the camera.
Yeah.
I have learned the ways of this industry. And I know one thing, that no matter where you are, what you're doing, if you are talented and if you're hardworking and if you have the heart in the right place, nothing wrong can happen to you. And that's the reality. Somebody was telling me about this industry that, film industry jo hai, if you want to keep everybody happy, then go sell ice creams. ऐसे dialogue मारे जाते हैं.
Achha,
Okay.
okay.
Some producer was telling me this. And I was thinking in my head, कि यार मतलब not everybody is here to sell. I mean, we can go and sell ice cream, but aren't exactly what we're doing that. अगर audience को हम film दिखा रहे हैं, sorry sir, आपकी आइसक्रीम थोड़ी महंगी है, लेकिन audience के लिए वो आइसक्रीम ही है. आप कोई उनकी जिंदगी में कोई बहुत बड़ा अंतरिक्ष पे यान नहीं भेज रहे हो. You're not sending any spaceships. We're not working on some NASA projects. We are entertaining people.
Yeah.
So let's not take ourselves so seriously. And that's what I do. I don't take myself seriously.
Yeah.
I take my work seriously. I have fun with it. Everybody's my friend. I like to be their friends. If somebody doesn't like to be my friend, it's okay. I'm very good with that also because I have my other friends.
Of course.
Yeah.
You just said that when your heart is in the right place, wrong things usually don't happen to you. But when we live in the world of social media, and even though I don't know how journalism is playing out right now, I don't support the unethical part of journalism where they twist and turn your words and make it headlines and news, and it just goes out of proportion. It still happens very sadly, and then all of us, like, we're all as a media fraternity dragged into it. Recently, a comment of yours was a statement of yours blown out of proportion. Of course, we all knew you were not talking about Karan Johar, but still those were the headlines, which was very sad to see. And I was funnily, reading a headline, and when I went and read the news, inside the news, they had clarified that now Abhishek has come out and clarified. Even then, the headline had Karan Johar's name. When such things happen to you, or this particular incident, how do you deal with it? Do you just laugh it out in your head, or are you like affected by it?
I used to be affected by it, but I think I've learned my ways. I've learned that this is a part and parcel. As you said, that Shraddha thing and all that. So that means I'm being successful.
Yeah.
That definitely means that
course.
I've reached somewhere that, I'm important to be, made a headline with Karan Johar sir. And also, I also realized that if you take the name Karan, it's going to be a headline.
Because people automatically associate.
Automatically associate. They want to be associated with it. And sensationalizing is something which has been a part of the entertainment tabloid. Not only from now, since ever. It's been happening. And it is going to happen. So to bother yourself or to get yourself affected, I don't think we need that. Every time there is something, recently Arshad sir spoke about Prabhas, and that was also misrepresented suddenly. He was not talking about Prabhas being Joker. He was talking about how he was portrayed. Or the character became. So, sometimes when people, that happens, when you talk with honesty, people don't understand the context. They want to jump the gun. They want to blame or accuse. But I feel that's a part and parcel of our show business here. We are in that. We can't help it.
Did you and Karan get a chance to talk about
No,
this
I didn't
issue?
want to bother him. I mean,
Yeah.
I spoke to whoever I needed to speak. I spoke to in Dharma, and I cleared my air. And I also had his number. I was about to message him or send him a voice note, but then I realized that he's in Melbourne. He
Okay.
was there for the Melbourne
Yeah.
film festival. So I thought कि यार मैं क्या मैं उनको ये सब चीजें बोलूँ. I'm sure he knows it better than me. यार.
Correct.
He's been in the new business for so many
Yeah.
years. He knows how news they get made and all that. So I didn't want to bother him with that. But that's why I clarified. I gave a statement because I think it was very important for me to come out and speak about it, so that people, at least the audience, public, doesn't have a wrong notion about it. That's all. And I think it's done. It's done and dusted.
Dusted.
Yeah.
Definitely. Abhishek, when I look at your line of work, or when I look at you in a movie, in my head I never imagined that आज आप अगर कोई रोल के लिए ऑफर किया गया है या आप बाय चांस आपका दिमाग में नाम आया है कि अभिषेक को लेना चाहिए, यू विल गेट रिजेक्टेड बिकॉज ऑफ द ट्रैजेक्टरी ऑफ वर्क एंड द काइंड ऑफ वर्सेटाइल रोल्स यू हैव प्लेड. बट डिस्पाइट दैट, इवन टुडे, डू यू स्टिल फेस रिजेक्शंस एवर?
Yeah, I'm sure I do. And because I've seen this, that sometimes the game becomes I've heard this from something I wanted to do recently for an OTT show, and I was told by the director that they want somebody with more followers.
With more followers?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with
Yeah,
acting?
exactly. That's becoming a very, very strange norm these days.
We are also told that sometimes.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to speak about it.
Of
because
course you should.
I think we should. And I'm also speaking about it as a casting director.
Yeah.
It is a very wrong practice.
Yeah.
And it's not going to serve anybody's purpose, because trust me, no matter how many followers an actor has, it doesn't really matter when the product comes. Because the product is, audience is very smart to understand the acting part.
Yeah.
You cannot fool them by those clickbaits or those what is it called, thumbnails. They're very smart. They understand, okay, thumbnail पे वो एक episode का शुरुआत कर देंगे, but then they will see what the product is, and then they will decide whether they have to watch those 9 episodes, because a lot of time investment, 9 hours. So if it has happened to someone like me, imagine how many more people, and I have decent amount of followers.
Yeah.
Imagine how many more kids must be going through the same problem. And I think this is a big problem, because if casting cannot be done like that.
No, absolutely not.
And you cannot really compare anybody's anybody's popularity on the basis of Instagram followers, because trust me, India is a huge country, and not everybody is on Instagram, and the street popularity is very different from social media popularity. Somebody might be highly popular on social media, but अब सड़क पे जाओगे कोई नहीं पहचानता. And vice versa. हो सकता है somebody has less followers on social media, but सड़क पे जाओगे mob हो जाएंगे. Shah Rukh Khan has 47 or some odd million followers. Yeah. And there are many actors who have more followers than him. Does it make him lesser famous?
He's just famous on Instagram, and not the entire world is on Instagram.
And it's very important to understand that Instagram is a social media. It's a different media altogether. It's like being popular on TV and being popular on theatres. जो इंसान टीवी में पॉपुलर है, can they guarantee that they will get the tickets in theatres? And vice versa. जो इंसान थिएटर में पॉपुलर है, can they guarantee the TRP in TV? So it's very, we have to understand that. And I have been speaking about it in my meetings and in my discussions with whenever I had to. But this is something which is very sad and disappointing, and we'll fight about it.
It is. When such things happen to you, when you are rejected on something that's not even logical,
Yeah.
or is not associated with your talent,
Yeah.
does that bother you? Does that make you feel hurtful?
Yeah, of course it bothers me in ways where I'm like, in today's time and age, if you do not understand the importance or the worth of acting, then it's not my loss, first of all.
True.
It's not my loss. It's their loss. Because I feel that not only me, any good actor, when they come on any project, they add much more value, than probably followers. So I think we need to understand that. And if we don't understand it, the audience will make them understand. So it's okay.
You have also been a casting director and someone who follows the ethical path of it, because you just said, I don't support this following wala cheez, and I have heard stories of people having encounters with you where you have supported them. And I recently watched a clip of yours where you were saying that we are actually actors' first managers. We have fought for actors when the agency was maybe probably offering them less money or whatsoever. despite that, sometimes casting is associated with casting couch, which is very sad because it's of course reduced to a lot of level. But I also feel this good part, this good side of casting directors is often not explored.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to see the good, right? They always want to. That's I said that they always want to criticize. I mean, I just had an actor who came and said that 15 saal se mera audition nahi liya. I was trying to blame my team, and I said that this is, see, you can't blame them.
Yeah.
You know, 15 saal se mera bhi bahut logon ne audition nahi liya. Will I just go outside their office and start, blaming them? Because we are doing whatever we can do. There's a huge population, man. India has a lot of people, and everybody wants to be an actor. There are many actors in this city. We possibly might not know everybody individually. We might not possibly audition everybody individually. But does that make our intentions wrong? We have cast for shows like Mirzapur, we cast for shows like, Inside Edge, recently CA Topper, and you see so many fresh young actors.
True.
Where are they coming from? And not only our casting bay, every casting director is doing the same thing. You have to give credit to casting directors for the change in the acting world which we are seeing now. ये जो नए OTT awards बने हैं, and when you go to those award functions and you see these faces, this sea of good actors. मनोज बाजपेयी ने बोला था स्टेज पे खड़े होकर कि मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है कि मैं इतने बेहतरीन एक्टर्स के साथ बैठा हूँ. ये जो बातें हैं ना, that this used to not happen earlier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, casting fraternity has really given a lot to this industry. It's okay. I mean, we will always be judged. एक तो couch वाला तो वो एक sizzler है ही हमारे पास. But I am sure that is also, somehow it's dying down. Now casting directors are not known for their couch, though I'm sitting on one. But I think they are now known for their work. And audience is speaking about it.
Yeah.
Audience is talking about the casting. That's great.
Yeah.
When they can talk about it, I'm sure that everybody will notice.
That is true because earlier casting कौन कर रहा है इतना
किसी को
कौन
मतलब
देखता
नहीं था.
था, but today I know myself so many casting directors compared to 6 years back when I started, when I used to only focus on, okay, who's the director, who's the actor, and that's it. But now we're focusing on writers, we're focusing on casting directors. So that is true. In fact, this casting couch thing, I think, is not coming from casting director side anymore. I think a lot of actors who have been working for a long time are now sharing their old stories. Like
That's
Neena
great.
Gupta ji
Yeah,
recently
yeah,
told a casting couch story where a producer asked her long back to sleep with her. So that, I think that is what is happening, that even people, even actresses now want to feel heard. So they are coming out and telling
And it's
their past
good.
stories.
It's good to talk about it in the open. Yeah, it's very good because if we don't talk about it in the open, these predators will always find power, and they're not powerful actually because they're hiding in shadows, in darkness.
Correct.
So we think that they are powerful, but they're not. They're
not,
powerless. And I said that recently, that nothing is more important than your dignity. Nothing is more important than your safety.
Correct.
A job is just a job. You will get it from some other place. There are plenty of people who are ready to work with you without any favors. Many actors used to try and bribe me. They used to tell that आपके लिए गाड़ी खरीद देते हैं. I've got calls from across the country where they're like, ज़मीन ले लो. One guy offered me piece of land. This kind of culture is there. वो हमारे इसमें नहीं, हर जगह पे. But then, I'm like, bro, तेरा ज़मीन लेके मैं अपना काम थोड़ी खराब करूँगा. And director is not a fool. Directors are professional. They know exactly what to do with their film. They are not going to do it just for a car. So it's just, I don't think this works here.
Yeah. How do you draw that line and stay away from that corruption part?
I'm a son of a very, very honest officer.
Wow.
My dad was awarded a President Award on 26 January parade. All right. He has worn 2 uniforms. One is for CISF, one is for NSG. He has served 2 departments. He has served the nation. I don't think I'll ever be corrupt because I have seen my hero is bigger than any hero I've met.
Wow, that's beautiful actually. But Abhishek, you have been a casting director. You have been the helping hand behind so many new faces that we have discovered, we have found out. But when you say no to a certain actor, maybe that actor is popular today, is successful today, but doesn't fit the character, and maybe has a massive ego. How do you reject them?
So we just tell them that it didn't work out.
Have you ever faced a situation where someone has gotten probably offended?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, people can get angry. I mean, I understand rejections are not very easy to, take in. you can get angry, you can feel sad, you can feel a lot of other emotions. But only thing I want to say is that uh, it's like we can't help it. If casting directors can only do certain things till a point, and then the choices are with the directors. The choices will be with the producers. And honestly, I don't want to handle egos. That's the kind of space I am in always. I'm a professional. I treat things professionally. I'm not against you. I don't have anything personal against somebody. If it's not working out, it's not working out. In the same way, I don't take it personally when somebody ignores me or rejects me. It's okay. I just like I move on. I look for the next job.
Who has been that one most difficult casting of yours कि इसको इस actor को cast करने में मुझे बहुत difficulty हुई थी?
That's a very, I don't know, yeah, it's been really long since I have been really involved with casting. So, uh, you're talking about an actor's behavior per se or a character which
No,
was
character,
difficult?
like,
I think Patal Lok mein Chini
okay.
was a very difficult one because we had to get a transgender.
Yeah.
And I was hell bent on finding one.
Love.
I did not want a man to play it or female to play it. I know there were some options and they were almost considering, but I was like, no way. I mean, we are a huge country.
Yeah.
It is impossible that we don't have an actor in that gender. So we had to find. And we found Mariam from Manipur.
Yes.
हम मणिपुर तक गए
Wow.
और वहां से ढूंढ के लाए. And I was very proud of it.
You
Very proud
should
of it.
be. Representation is all we need
Yes,
today.
yes, yes, of
And
course.
casting directors like you who make that happen for the world to see
Yes,
is
yes.
something we need, especially in India. In West, it's been happening. But here, when I hear stories like that, I am myself so thrilled that nice, we are going towards the right path.
Yes.
But maybe someone from, one casting story, funny story that you could share from someone. I think you have auditioned Bhumi also, if I'm not
No,
wrong.
not Bhumi.
No?
We auditioned Vicky Kaushal.
Vicky Kaushal. How was that?
Yeah. And recently I read a newspaper article where they said that Vicky Kaushal was auditioned for Imran Hashmi's part. No.
Oh.
He was auditioned for a very small role. Broker ka role ka audition dena aaya tha wo.
Oh my god.
And I'm not kidding. Yeah, imagine Vicky Kaushal, the star, the Toba guy, had once come and given an audition for a broker. 3 scene का role था उसका घन चक्कर में. And we loved him.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this actor? Because some actors just surprise you in an audition room. And Vicky was like that. And when his film, एक film थी उनकी जिसमें he played a rock star. I forgot that name of the film. It was produced by Zuban. Zuban was the film's name. And I saw that film. It did not do well, but I called Vicky and I said, "Tu star hai." और आज देखो वो star है.
Wow.
So no, that's how I knew him, because I was always a admirer of his work, and he's been doing great work. Chhawa teaser is looking great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but the story started from here, Aramnagar.
Amazing. No, I recently watched his Sanju audition. We did a fans fest with Vicky, and he was so raw in it, and I could just see that, okay, it was probably 7-8 years back when he auditioned, but back then also people could see, like you saw ki tu star banega. How does that conviction come in you?
I don't know. That's an instinct. That's just an instinct. That's a God gift.
Yeah.
I'm a literature student. I have read a lot of books. I have read classics. I have read modern literature. I have read literature from Renaissance period. And I'm a huge fan of history. I've always been trying to understand how Caesar must have thought when he conquered the world. I've always wondered what Alexander must be thinking when he went out to conquer the world. I'm like that. I'm always trying to understand human minds, human psyches. So for me, I think casting just came naturally.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to understand the psyche behind a character and find that. And when I see something good, I spot it immediately. Yeah, that rule applies for me in acting also. When I read a good story, I immediately realize that this is something which I want to do.
Apart from Vicky, is there someone who you probably saw and you were like, you will be
Rajkummar Rao.
Yeah.
Rajkummar Rao also auditioned for me many years back in a film called Knockout, and that role was later done by Apurv Lakhia.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He came and did that scene. I still remember. I will never forget that. Normal shirt, pant पहन के एक बड़ा सीधा सा लड़का आया, walkie talkie पकड़ के उसने कुछ किया ना. I'm like, अरे ये क्या acting कर रहा है यार? ये कौन सी acting है? तुमने कभी देखी नहीं है? And from there when he became a star, and then I was working with him on Stree, I felt so good. And I have him by my side. An actor like him by my side. Yeah.
That's so good. But today when I ask you, balancing both the things, and from someone who just sees everything on screen, and I don't know you personally, but I do see your work. I feel you are doing a great job. But inside, what goes on? Do you on some days go crazy managing both the
Never.
things?
I'm very calm.
Okay.
I'm not the one who goes crazy. I used to, but then I learned my ways. I understood that there's no point of going crazy. Again, the same point applies.
Yeah.
We are not launching a rocket in the space.
True.
We are not
Yeah.
serving the nation and fighting, enemies. We are creating, and there is an unsaid chaos in creativity. I understand that, but it should not bother our lives. Yeah.
True.
My employees are working, they're chill, they're like, and the more freedom I give them, the more chill they are, the better the creativity.
That's so
As
true.
simple as
Yeah.
that. I can't be chaotic. I mean, sometimes some days are bad, but it's okay. Even if I lose my temper or lose my balance in the morning, I'm always back to my balance by afternoon or evening. I don't keep grudges. I don't have that kind of a persona.
There's a lot been spoken about how star kids make their way to the film industry, and a lot of times a project is not even released, but they get so much hate just because they come from a certain family. I feel if they're not good, if they're not talented, and they are getting films after films, of course, that's not fair. That's not fair to anyone. But if they have proven themselves and they're getting films, that's fine. As a casting director, how do you see this process also? Do they actually audition? What's the process like? Is it similar
Some
for
of them
everyone?
do. Some of them do have. We have auditioned so many star kids. We have, and they would come and they would like audition for us and things like that. But I mean, having said that, yeah, I mean, see, it's like, of course they'll get the opportunities because their parents have worked hard and stuff like that. But they also have to come and prove themselves on screen. It's not easy for them. They might have a head start. उनके साथ शायद 5 या 7 साल ज़्यादा जल्दी उन्होंने शुरू कर दिया. पर ठीक है, अब क्या करें, like we're living in a developing nation. We can't always, a middle class can't always point fingers at the rich class and say कि यार इन्होंने गलत करके किया है. No, I mean they have been doing what they have been doing, and every now and then you will see a Cristiano Ronaldo coming from ghettos and becoming the biggest player of the world.
Correct.
So how can you even complain? If he can do it, there are many others like that. So why are we even complaining?
Which all star kids have you actually auditioned?
I don't remember now, but I mean, many of them. I mean,
Okay.
I think from Pashmina Roshans to
Junaid also, I think you've met.
Junaid, yeah, them, and then who all? Many are. It's very difficult to remember the names right now. It's because I'm out of touch. I used to cast earlier.
Yeah, now
Anmol
you're
ko pata
more
hoga.
into. You're more into.
I'm acting and I'm on the
Acting,
business side of casting bay. I'm not involved with it creatively. I mean, of course, I give my creative suggestions and advices to all my team, but I don't have the time to sit and discuss the characters.
How tricky is it when casting for a role, and then you fit that part when it happens?
They have
with
not
Patalo?
cast me here. Casting bay has not
last
cast
was
me.
Patalo.
Rana Naidu was the last. It came 2 years back.
अच्छा,
तो
Rana
पिछले-
Naidu,
तो
yeah.
पिछले
I
2
remember
साल
Patalo.
से casting में ने मुझे कोई काम नहीं दिया. Can you believe it? My own company.
How's that possible? But
They have not.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't consider me. Ask them. I'll ask them. Yeah.
But lastly, Abhishek, before we wrap this, so your journey is in a way very inspiring. When I hear you, I know you don't like talking about your struggling days or how you have been there and done all of that. But still, when you look back today and when you look at those days when you were sort of trying to make it big, and today when you have, in a way, how do you feel? Does it leave you overwhelmed?
Oh yes, it leaves me overwhelmed, and it also, it's like I love trekking. I love climbing mountains, and when you reach a mountain top, there you see many others. You see a lot of other mountain tops, and you see a lot of other peaks, and you want to reach. You want to reach to that one little top which you can see where there's some snow cap, and it's going to be very difficult, but you want to reach there someday, and that's the feeling I have right now.
Wow.
I have reached a certain stage. I have reached a certain point in my career, and now I can see different levels, and now I'm very excited and very curious. How good will I do in all those levels? Yeah.
I hope you always reach the peak and you always be at the peak of your career. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi guys, this is Abhishek Banerjee and you're watching me on Galatta, India.
Hola! Your dream vacation to Dubai starts from rupees 29,999 only with GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.